Hey, Bill.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. How's everything?
Going pretty good. I'm very excited to talk to you.
I'm excited to talk to you. I'm sorry about the delay.
It's no problem at all.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm never late for anything, so that was that. How's everything? How are you out there?
I'm pretty good. So
You
I
cold?
got a whole bunch of questions, and a friend of mine wanted me to ask a question for you. So
Good. Go for it. I'm ready.
So these are all old questions that I haven't updated, so we'll just go along as we go. So
Sure.
Alright. So tell us about your latest film and the role you play, Ghost, in your new movie Lowriders.
Lowriders, is out now. I think it was in the theater there's actually the poster over there. In May, it's now all over DVR and download and all that. It was a movie that we made a while back in an area I used to live for a long time, East LA in Los Angeles, and it's about the lowriding culture, and really, it's really more a film about family and brotherhood, and I'm super proud of it. So go watch it. I play Ghost.
I want to see it. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah, complicated character, but very fun. I see the sun is beating on my face. Hold on one second. I'm gonna move a little. Let's see where I can go. Okay, go ahead, Belle. I'm still listening. Go for it.
All right. So now that you're a father and have a second son with Megan, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you so much, Belle.
How were you able to portray the relationship between Ghost and his father?
Say that last part again, because me moving around made it go away.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Between who?
How were you able to portray the relationship between Ghost and his father?
Oh man, that really was more, even more with my situation with my own father. Because my father left when I was young, and I never had that relationship, and it, in the before he passed away, it was kind of like a very strained relationship that him and I had.
Yeah.
And ultimately, until we just stopped talking, and I used that, like I use anything from all the stuff in my life, to really kind of, I think, hopefully play that as well as I could. But I really used my own stuff, and then at the same time, my first son. Because we made the movie almost 2 years ago. My first son was being born while I was filming, so it was just kind of the perfect accident in every way. Like everything that just happened, I really think kind of fueled the character. Yeah.
All right. And what was your experience working on the set with the cast?
I love them all. I love Eva. I love Demian. Little Gabe Chavaria is. One of my little brother. I love him. I think he's one of the great future stars of this business. Demian's an icon, and just a lot of other people that were just in the film, and it's great. It's like being around family all the time.
That's awesome. So I'm gonna go on to my friend's question here, so I can just get it done here. So you and Megan have the company Ounce Water.
Yeah.
What made you guys want to sell the product?
So when I started Ounce Water, I'm a runner. I run marathons. I train a lot, different things, and I drink a gallon of water every day. I always have, and it's just something that kind of fuels my health. It's what I believe is the staple of everything. I think being hydrated and all that. So, it was one of those things where I travel a lot, and I really wanted to kind of do something that was a little easier for me. Anything that I ever create is really something that starts with something that I like. And, I really just wanted something that just made it easier. So Ounce Water for me was just something that, the whole tag with the whole thing is making healthy habits easier, but it just makes you track your water a little better, by putting it in even numbers, 40 ounces, 20 ounces, soon to be 10 ounces. And, it's just something I created, and it's been, thank God, it's just been absolutely terrific, especially where we are, because we really only launched. I mean, we're on Amazon Prime, but we've only launched in New York City, the tri-state area, New Jersey, Connecticut. So we're all over here, and then soon we'll be in the rest of the United States. But it's been great.
That's awesome. So how do you incorporate the water into your lifestyle?
Every day. Every day. I start my day by drinking, probably just at breakfast alone. I probably start by drinking almost 40 something ounces of water a day. And then, in the morning. And then I probably go through, depending on how active my day is and how my training is and all that, I could drink a gallon and a half, a gallon, definitely never less than a gallon for me, 128, 120 ounces. But I just live really active. I don't really sit still. I don't sleep that much. And I just,
sounds like me too.
Yeah, I'm always running and gunning. So it's really helped me. I don't know. I just tell everybody, and just like our ambassadors tell everybody, it's just like, start by getting hydrated and then kind of move from there and then see what it does for you. I've yet to hear anybody complain about, drinking too much water. So we'll see.
Right. And that's a good thing to have so much water in you.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So next question. How do you feel about being a part of two such recognizable shows, Sons of Anarchy and Luke Cage?
Super lucky. I'm a huge TV fan as well, so these are two shows that I'm a fan of. Even though I'm on them, it's very weird for people to think like that. But like, I'm a big fan of Sons of Anarchy. I really was from the beginning. I just think it was like nothing else on television, and I think we did things that were really different at the time because it was back before kind of the binge watching culture, and you had to wait a week, and we really dealt with some really sticky stuff in there, and it was amazing to be part of that, and then to go on to Luke Cage, Marvel's Luke Cage, and growing up the way I grew up, I'm such a crazy comic book fan. I grew up drawing comics my whole life. I had no idea I would ever be an actor. I did what I really wanted to do was animate and draw. I had the option to go to Parsons or Disney Animation, and really I thought that's what I was going to do. So I would just draw comics all day. I would sit there and literally just from reading them and drawing them and playing with the action figures when I was a kid. So to now be in the MCU and to be in the Marvel Universe and to kind of like, I remember we were doing the second episode and there was a scene where, we're in prison and I was like beating up Luke Cage and I was like, wow, this is so crazy. Like here I am playing a character from one of my, favorite comics, and I'm beating up one of my favorite comic book characters in a scene, For now, I'm beating him up. I mean, ultimately, he's way stronger. But, it was just one of those really amazing moments. So just really enjoying the journey. I'm super, super lucky and super blessed about it. And I just love it every day. And I can't wait for people to see the second season. We just finished, about a month and a half ago. And the second season is everything I've ever wanted as an actor and as a fan. So I'm really excited for people to see it.
I'm excited too. I am such a huge Marvel fan myself.
Yeah.
I didn't know much of your character Chase until after I saw Luke Cage. So how has it been playing the character?
It's amazing. I mean, the great thing about Marvel shows on TV is that they take these really obscure characters that you've really never seen done before. You haven't seen them in a film. You haven't, unless you're really like into comics, you haven't really read them. Jessica Jones and the Alias comics, and Luke Cage, and obviously Iron Fist has always been slightly obscure. I think Daredevil's probably the most popular of them, and that's only probably because there was a movie about him. I don't think a lot of people, if you were outside of the comic book world, really even knew Daredevil that much, except for his like epic fights with Captain America and like stuff like that. Like I just don't think that. So what I love that they do so well, Marvel Television, is that they bring these characters that not a lot of people knew so well, and they give them life. And I'm able to take a guy named Shades, Hernan Alvarez, and like sit there and put him on screen for the first time. And then my Cheo and my adaptation of him is really the beginning. That's the first, just like Coulter with Cage, so I think it's awesome. I love Marvel Television. I'm obviously my favorite comic book character ever is Frank Castle. So I get to watch my buddy John play the Punisher, and I just think he's phenomenal at it. And they're also darker. They're definitely more realistic, more street level characters, and as opposed to the films, which are more fantastical and big and very a lot going on. So it's kind of nice that Marvel gives you both sides of that. So it's a dream come true.
That is so cool. And how did you prepare to play the role of Chase?
A lot of talks. Cheo and I are very, very close. The showrunner, the creator, he actually wrote the movie Lowriders. So we've worked together for a while. And he's just the smartest person in every room he goes into. So I was really able to really speak with him about what he wanted to do, kind of with the character, and really. We only just caught like a small kind of glimpse of really where he was going with it in the first season. And I think that's why I'm so excited for the second season, because we get to really see everything that he had planned for it. So the way I prepared is like I always do. I listen and research. I just listen, and I research and I prepare. And then ultimately whatever that comes out on the day that I film it.
That's so cool. How would you say what would you say the difference is between the Marvel TV shows and the films?
Just like I said, I think that the Marvel TV shows are very realistic. Like you almost have to, like when you're watching them, you're almost like, oh, I totally forgot that they're superheroes. Like because they're so real. Like everything about them is.
Yeah.
It's way more real that almost when you see like Jessica Jones jump up to a balcony, you forget for a second that she was a superhero. You're like, oh wow, look at that, because you're so engulfed in the story. Where with the films, they're very based around their powers and and how they fly and and really they're much bigger level. It's really the destruction of the world or the destruction of, cities and countries, where in the TV shows, it's really like how it affects a neighborhood or how it affects certain streets in a neighborhood. So it's a much smaller scale, which makes it much more intimate. So I think that the television shows are much more relationship based as to how the characters interact with each other, where the films are so much more fantastical. They're just very large, and they're awesome to watch. I mean, they're just so much eye candy and really cool to watch.
That I can agree with. So, do you have a favorite film or TV show from Marvel?
My favorite TV show is, besides Luke Cage, is obviously The Punisher, just because I'm a giant fan of Frank Castle. But honestly, the one that got me the most hooked, the one that I think because I was so surprised because I had never read the Alias comics, is Jessica Jones. Like I watched that so fast because I was just so into Kilgrave and the relationship and the characters. So as a watcher, as like a visual watcher, I just really loved Jessica Jones. I thought it was really cool. In the films, that's really hard because there's been a lot of great ones.
Right, and so much more to come.
Yeah, so many more to come. I think I have to say, just because it'd be hard not to give it credit, is I think for so long they were trying to make this world work on films. And I think that until the technology caught up, and then obviously the right actor at the right time, I think you have to say the first Iron Man, because I just think that what Robert Downey Jr. did with Tony Stark, and again, if you read comics your whole life, it's kind of how you always pictured Tony Stark, but you never knew, you never really you never heard the voice. And then obviously seeing the way they did it, and it's come so far since then, obviously. But it would be really hard for me not to say Iron Man. I'm really excited for Black Panther, like really excited, just because I think they're going to do something completely different in so many ways. And Ryan is one of my favorite directors, so I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I will leave that question as until I see Black Panther. But right now, Iron Man is I missed the premiere the other day because I'm in New York and they're in LA. But I heard it from everybody I know who went. They said it was one of the best films they've ever seen in their life. So I'm excited.
That's what I heard too, and I'm psyched to see it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, I got a few more questions.
Sure.
You filmed Luke Cage in New York. What was it like to come back to your hometown to work on a show?
It was amazing. It's really the reason I came back here. I mean, I came back because my company was producing its first film, Bad Hurt, and which is on Netflix. And we had finished that, and then Luke Cage came up, and we had decided to come back here. I don't know. I'm all over the place. But I will always I'm a New Yorker. I grew up here my whole life. I left, when I was 17 and, went off to school and then ultimately went to Los Angeles, and I was in Los Angeles for a long time. And then, now to be back here and have my kids and, my wife and all that, it's amazing. I'll always have a place here. I'll always be here no matter, where I'm filming or where I'm traveling or, wherever we wind up. But it'll always be here because it'll always be home. So it's pretty amazing. I mean, all my friends are here, whatever family, is here, and it's great. I love it. It's the capital of the world, so it's hard not to be fun here.
Yeah, my mom's side of the family see you all the time, so I just learned that the other day. So.
Oh, I love that.
All right. 2 more questions. Is there a scene you're particularly proud of in both Sons of Anarchy and Luke Cage?
Particularly proud of, I guess, I really look at what the fans like the best. I mean, I like, I'm such big fans of the show. So I guess it's really hard for me to, say the ones that I'm in, anything that I'm in. I don't know. I guess it would be, I thought a really powerful scene was the one with Jax and Juice in the prison when they're confessing. When Juice confesses to Jax everything about what had gone on, it really felt like it was like 7 years of all this pent up stuff. So I thought that was a really cool scene. And then in Luke Cage, I mean, it's really hard until the second season comes out. But if we had to focus on the first season, mm-hmm. I would say just that moment. It's really only a moment, but the moment with Black Mariah and Shades at the end, where they kind of, for lack of a better word, they kind of win. Luke Cage is going off to jail, and there they are at the top of Harlem's Paradise, and kind of like it really sets the stage for everything that's about to happen in the second season. So I think that moment, the look they had, the kiss they had between each other, kind of the look, I think really that moment, and it was so simple. I think that's my favorite.
Okay, one more question. Are there any other exciting projects that you're currently working on that you're willing to share?
Yeah, I'm starting. I just started really prepping for a new film that I start in a couple of weeks called Vault. They're finishing all the casting now, and they will start announcing everything. And it's a true story about this guy Robert Deussard, and I play Deuce because I like to only play characters with one name. So Ghost, Juice, Shades. Now I get to play Deuce, and Deuce is responsible for one of the largest bank heists ever in history that was unsolved in 1975.
Okay.
And I'm really excited to be working because we get to follow this guy as how he pulled this off and what he did. And I'll go shoot that in Providence, Rhode Island for a while, starting in March.
Okay.
The beginning of March. And we have an amazing team, and I'm really excited for everybody to see, who else is cast in the film with me, and that'll start coming out soon. And then I'm really excited for Luke Cage season 2, which I know Jessica drops on March, so we're next up after that. So I don't know when, but I can't wait for it to come out.
I'm looking forward to it too. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Of course, I like your Star Wars poster in the back.
Thank you.
Which one is that?
New Hope.
That's it. Yeah,
it's
my
an
favorite.
original 70s poster.
What's your favorite Star Wars film?
Oh, wow. My favorite.
Right? Especially all the new ones.
Okay, my favorite prequel is Revenge of the Sith. Original Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
And new films, the new sequels, I can't decide between Force Awakens or The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I actually cried in all of them because I'm a crazy Star Wars fan. And when I say I cried, the reason I did is I got so nostalgic. I remember when I first saw Chewbacca and Han Solo come on screen in The Force Awakens. I just thought it was like the greatest thing in the world. Obviously, everything with Luke in what we just saw, and I'm so excited that we're getting this whole entire universe. I heard they're doing a TV show. I heard they're doing all this other stuff. I heard they're going to do it on the Disney platform. Yeah, they're going to do some kind of TV series. What?
The animated series on Disney?
No, I heard they're doing like a live action one. That's what I heard. Yeah, that's what I just heard. You should look it up, Belle. That's what I heard.
Okay.
And obviously we got Han Solo's movie, and I'm hearing things about Boba Fett. So I don't know. I'm so excited that all these are coming out. But it's really hard to say. I love moments in Star Wars films, but I would say when Luke walks into Jabba's place with the all black on him, Return of the Jedi, I think is one of the coolest scenes ever in films. So
yeah,
it makes me love Return of the Jedi, even though all around Empire still got to be one of the greatest films. But
I only saw the originals in the first two prequels at home and on DVD, and Revenge of the Sith was the first one I saw in theaters, and then all these years later to The Force Awakens. So for me to experience that as a fan, I never experienced that before.
You got to watch them all in a row. You just got to get all the ones in order and start with the prequels, then go to Star Wars, and then kind of watch.
I was 4 years old when I started becoming a fan, so.
It's the greatest.
I started with the Jedi,
universe.
So, yeah, I started with Return of the Jedi, so I didn't know there was a series back then.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah, wait till you just watch Empire a couple of times and you get to see what real films and how it was done. Well, it was such a wonderful time talking to you, and thanks so much.
No problem.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
To you too.
All right, enjoy the day, okay?
All right, you too.
All right, peace.